minute. Let me copy the real prompt. Avi, let me run the latest updated prompt. Okay, you're seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
So what I said, I need to create a WordPress site on Docker with two-tier architecture, having two Docker networks for each tier. So here, what is doing WordPress site on Docker with two-tier architecture and separate Docker networks for each tier. So first one is you need to create the Docker networks. First, create two Docker networks, one for WordPress front end and tier, and one for backend database tier. You have created one image also, architecture image also, right? Sometime back, two-tier WordPress. The
Yes.
same way you will have there two Docker networks, okay, containers. See, he is creating Docker network, create front tier network and back tier network. He is naming the network like that, okay?
Yes.
Then write Docker compose. You will need a Docker compose file that defines the services and networks for both tiers. Basically, what happens? You are going to create YAML file to use the Docker compose. Okay, this will set up WordPress and content to the front tier. Front tier purpose, one Docker compose file he has taken it. Okay, so this is the one code snippet for that YAML code snippet. Okay, this is DB security
330. Yes.
rule, right? Number
Yes.
group security group number. Okay, then later backend tier you need to define it. This will set up MySQL database, connect it to backend tier. Okay. So here, what it is taking the network also, backend tier network. Here it is taking the backend, and it is going to give the idea in the front end networks. There are two networks giving the information. That's all. But it is not creating anything in the backend tier. Okay. Then here, particularly in the backend tier, it is creating the WordPress database setup, MySQL user database, all that kind of thing. Okay. Example is the password. Now deploy the services. How you are going to deploy Docker Compose you are using. Okay, Docker Compose YAML file you are running that. Deploying is nothing but you are running the files, YAML files, Docker files. Okay, then both will be running. After running, you're going to check it. Check the both services are up and running. What are these both services? One is two different networks. Okay, then access your WordPress site. Open your browser, navigate this one, localhost, to access your WordPress site. That's all simple.
Okay. So these two code snippets that we get that YML file. So I
Hmm.
have to prepare this file in like we prepare Docker file, then once HTML file. So like that we have to prepare YML file in one
See,
folder
this is
itself
the
and
name
run
here.
from the bash.
You keep the same name.
Okay.
Open the VI in Linux,
Hmm.
copy this into in that file, in that file name. This is the file name it should be. Because here also Docker Compose DB file. This is that is first front end file. Okay.
Hmm.
Then he is running these two files basically to create
Ah,
that front end and back end. Okay. See, ultimately what it is doing, it is pulling WordPress latest image.
yes.
From there, it is pulling the information. Okay. Uh, um, what components need to be executed. Then image MySQL it is pulling. It is attaching to WordPress in the back end. Okay. So
Okay.
this is the way it is going to be.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Uh, if you want Docker documentation, I need the complete documentation on front end and back end setup. Okay, let us say I'm writing this one. Let me see what it gives. See here, these are the resources it has given. Now you can copy in that for in your Copilot also and check there. Okay. So for your understanding, these are the sites.
Okay.
So to use the networks, yes, this is the where. This is just like VPC peering in AWS or network peering in Azure. Okay.
Okay. So I feel that I have to create means VNet. Then under that VNet, we have to give IP range
Hold on,
from.
hold on, hold on, hold on. If I need to create the same setup in Azure, Azure,
Virtual machine.
wait,
Azure
Azure
all.
VM.
Uh,
Wait, let me write here. Just hold on. I need to create the same setup in Azure VM with Docker steps. You see, you are creating virtual machine. After that, you know the process. And then install Docker on VM. Okay. After that, you are creating the Docker setup. Then create front end network. Okay. In Docker itself, the same commands are being used here. Okay. Write Docker compose files. Yes, same process. Two networks is creating Docker network, create backend tag, and here front end tag. That's all simple.
mm,
Then later, but IP is different. Okay. So open browser, navigate the public IP here. There it is local host IP. That is the difference.
okay.
It is very
Okay,
simple.
sir.
You can practice in both places, no problem. But if you practice in Azure VM, what happens? You will get public IP.
Hmm. Correct, sir.
Okay.
I get public IP.
Now, assume I need to create the same. Let me write it. I'll tell you. WP site with three-tier architecture in Docker. Write the detailed steps. You can do three-tier architecture also because Docker has got code. Each code can be created in a separate container. Then later you can create it. See here, three networks he is creating. Cache
Created,
tier
yes.
is for application. Front end is for website. Okay. See, create three Docker networks, one for front end, one for cache, load balancer pair, and one for the backend database tab. Now, how it is working? You are going to create the same way front end tab. Okay, front end is same. Then how the cache is going to be created using Redis server. I told you Redis server is being used for usage of the cache memory. Okay, because that saves a lot of performance issues. Okay. Then what it is doing, Nginx it is creating. You know, Nginx is to coordinate in the
Hmm.
backend servers.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
right. Is creating Nginx server. Then later, on which tier he is creating, is connecting to front end tier and cache tier to connect to both servers, tier 1 and tier 2. Tier 3 is by default it is database, MySQL server. Okay, then this is the backend tier. Then deploy the services. You are deploying the same services with ML files. Same thing, process. Only thing is you'll be including one tier, cache tier. Okay. Now access WordPress site here. Okay. And now I'll write. Now, can you rewrite the Azure? Azure VM Docker. Okay. Same process. Okay. See, once you connect to this particular connect with SSH, it will become like a Docker container only. Here, public IP will be there. Okay. Now, let us say I want to create the same three-tier WP in Azure. Write the, I'm coming to the traditional model with normal this one. Write the uh, detailed steps. See, I'm showing you the solutions with Azure, with Docker, and now without Docker. Normal setup. Okay, you got it right? Difference.
Yes, sir.
So set up a WordPress site with three-tier architecture directly in Azure, involving using Azure services like virtual machines, Azure Cache for Redis, and Azure Database for MySQL. Okay. Now you need to create the resource groups. That is common. Then virtual machine creation is there. You are installing the Docker on virtual machine. Then 1 minute. Why? Sorry, there is. Let me update the prompt here. I have to mention without Docker. This is for normal cloud. Without Docker. Then it will understand. It will write the steps traditionally how you can build a three-tier architecture. See, without Docker, the process is slightly different. LAMP server you are installing it. Why LAMP server is requirements to operate with the Redis server. Okay. Now apt get install Apache. After that, you are installing PHP setup. Then Apache 2 is making ready. Then you are downloading the WordPress, Linux commands, all Linux admin commands. Then later you are moving into the other folder. CS mode you are doing, ownership you are giving for the folder. Then you are giving read-only memo option for the HTML folder. All these things. Ravi, you got that Linux notes right? You started practicing, right?
Yes, sir.
These are the commands you need to practice and check it how it is. Okay, ownership and file mode also, file mode permissions. Okay, then create Azure Cache for Redis. Okay, then Azure Cache is a service basically to create the Redis server like SQL. Okay, then you are creating Azure MySQL database separately within the Azure services. Okay. Then configure WordPress to connect to MySQL and Redis. There are two servers it is configured. One is Redis, cache memory purpose. Another one is MySQL. Okay. Now, this is the PHP file it is giving. If you want to write it in Terraform, you can do it. So let us say, first let us understand the process. It is connecting to WordPress. It is defining MySQL settings, DB user, password, DB host. Then Redis server setup also it is creating it. Okay, Redis host name and port number also. 6379 is the Redis port number. Okay, then you are restarting Apache 2 by this setup. Already you have done the setup that you are doing it. Okay, now systemctl restart Apache 2. Yes, you are restarting. Then after that, you are going to install WordPress plugins for Redis. Once WordPress is installed, you are going to set up that. Okay. Then you are going to use in the Redis server the WordPress components. It means unit install in Redis server also WordPress components. Okay. 1 minute. Write the script in Terraform only. Here, Terraform script has come. Okay, in the main, sorry, in main, sorry, in the main thing, not main.
Main.tf. Yes.
Yes. So VM creation, Redis cache, and Azure database for my MySQL. Okay. So these are the code snippets. You know about it, you will be understanding that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then later initialize and apply the Terraform script. Yes. If you are able to give this demo in Azure with 3-tier architecture by Redis server with Terraform script, this will be a very good demo for you.
Okay.
You take your own time to give this demo.
Okay. Okay.
Right? You got the same solution, right? From Copilot.
Yes. Yes. Hello.
Right, Rahul?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Correct, sir.
So this result come from last year from
Pardon?
Terraform. Terraform.
Terraform.
yes,
Terraform script. He gave demos, right, on Terraform. Rahul gave demos on Terraform.
yes,
Those things. See, if you get one scenario, live scenario, to set up any kind of servers or architecture, you need to study in multiple ways. Multiple ways means you created in local mission in VM Docker that you have tried it. Then later on you tried with VM also, Azure VM also, with a single network and double network. Now 3-tier architecture we tried it with Docker. The same setup without Docker, how you can create it? That we are going to do. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am going to write another prompt, recollect the 3-tier script written by you for containers. Okay. Let me get first. Now what I am going to ask, convert this to set up in ACS. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can you write the same solution for
Azure.
ACS?
Azure Container Service.
Our next demo will be after that ACS only. If you take this kind of large setup, it will be having value. Okay, now 3-tier WordPress architecture on Azure Kubernetes using why
Kubernetes container.
1 minute. I want Azure Container Service only. Azure Kubernetes is later. Azure Container Services. No usage of K8. K8 is what, Rahul? Kubernetes.
Yes.
Yeah. So now it should write.
Use of Kubernetes.
See here. without Kubernetes. It is container instances. Create Azure group and create Azure container instances for WordPress, Redis, and MySQL. So first, what it is doing, it is navigating the create a resource in ACS service. Okay. Configure WordPress container. For that, resource group is required, container name is required, region, image source, Docker Hub. Then WordPress latest, it is taking it. After that, it is creating the environmental variables. So add the following environment variables in the ACS itself. Okay. While creating. Okay. Then after that, networking. Set up ports to 89. Then you are going to review and create it. It means what you are doing here. You are creating containers. In the container, you are creating the Azure WordPress container. After that, what it is doing, you need to create the Redis container. That is separate container. Then after that, networking, set the ports to 6379. Review this. So 6379 is what? Redis port, right?
Yes.
You have
Yes.
seen that in the prompt, right?
Mm.
Now, with that, networking is going to be connected. Then create SQL container. Okay, here also you are creating container for database. Then after
SQL
that,
container.
yes,
Database.
this is another container. Azure Container Services, ACS is meant for creating a Docker containers only, but it is going to be in ACS services, not into the Linux mission. Now, it is networking to 3386 port. It means it is connected. Okay, for the total container services, all the containers are connected. Configure networking. Okay, see when it is created WordPress, that is the first container, it has got 88 port. Yes, sorry, 80 port. Okay.
80.
Then later 6379 Redis port. It means it is connecting to the network basically with different containers. Okay, 3 containers are connected to the network. Then create virtual network after that. You are configuring the networking. Then assign containers to virtual network. Okay. Then later, once they all are connected to the network, yes, it is there in MySQL Redis. Okay. It is a PHP. If you write it, 1 minute, continue. I am saying continue because I was moving here and there the screen. To come, I think sometimes it gets stuck up this profile. Right? Yeah. So you are getting that complete solution here.
No, sir. I'm not execute this. You provide only Kubernetes, still Kubernetes. K8.
No. You write it. You can execute now. See the last step. What I'm doing here, I'll write it here. Can you write? Can you write the same for Azure Container Service only? No usage of K8. Okay. I need to stop this sharing and you can share your screen if solution is given up to ending.
Okay, sir. So in mind also this not means click on that arrow.
No, you create a fresh this one.
Yes, I create
Chat.
fresh. Yes, sir. I create fresh itself. Same problem.
You have to shut down. You have to log out Copilot. Actually, what happens is if Copilot is being used for more sessions without logout, then it will have limitation. Now you log in it as a separate
Okay.
login session with login credentials. Then it will take as a fresh session. And executing after logging in. Then it should give.
Sir, yes. Sir, when we remove 8 now, then it going to happen. Try from your side itself. You write Kubernetes rather than K8.
1 minute. I'm writing a fresh AI prompt. Hold on. You write the three-tier WP site building solution for Azure Container Services. Let me test it. Once it is done,
Sir, sir, you removed 8 symbol rather than you write Kubernetes. It get. I mean,
you take my latest prompt. I copied it. Okay. You're able to see this one, right? This is the latest AI prompt. Okay.
Yes.
The script should be Terraform I give. Okay. See here. See, after some time, you need to adopt automation only. Manually, you can't create many servers, many setups because you'll be doing some mistakes. In that case, what you need to do? You need to adapt either Terraform script or Python script.
yes.
That is the tips you need to use it, okay, to create the environment. Now you see here, public IPs are there. You have the public IPs. So public IP from where you need to pull, where the WordPress is installed, PHP is installed from that. Right?
Yes, sir.
Same thing. Ports are map rate, yeah, all those.
Sir, okay, sir. Means today I'm means some wrong way I watch means do.
Now, what I would suggest is Docker networking exposure is very much required because you are going to work with ML projects with huge size of databases for data preparation or data pre-processing in ML lifecycle. Okay, so in such case, you should explore more for containers to create on multiple networks. But here in Docker, what happens? Each container you are storing in a separate networking and connecting the networking. You will be exploring to the networking also, network peering, such kind of things. Okay. Now the same process, if I write it in Azure, you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Can you write three-tier setup? 1 minute. I need to build WP in three-tier setup in three networks peering. AWS VPC pairing is there. The same way I want to create three networks peering. Can you write the three-tier WP site building solution for Azure Container Services only? No usage of K8. Script should be in Terraform. Terraform along with manual setup steps. Write solution for both manual setup, and IAC in Terraform. YAML. Need to build WP in 3-tier setup. WordPress site in 3-tier setup in 3 networks theory. Can you write the 3-tier WP building solution for Azure Container Service only? No usage of K8. The script should be in Terraform along with manual setup steps. Write solution for both with manual setup and IAC in Terraform.
Manual.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
copy a prompt. Now I can execute and see. Okay. So with this, what happens? We'll get the manual process and also with automation. So first resource groups it is creating for 3 different networks. Okay, in each US example. Okay, then it is creating virtual networks. Okay, groups are created, network groups. Then later on, it is creating the networks with the same groups. It is assigning
Sir.
groups. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, same means suppose I choose up until the 128 virtual network IP address. So I have to suppose I have 2 containers. So 64 I
Right.
have to
Let me
give.
explain it first. First, let me explain. Don't relate to any other past scenarios. Those are totally different. Okay. Now you understand this process. Okay. You're creating virtual networks. After that, with the same security groups, network security groups created. Create subnets. You're creating the subnets, 3 subnets. Okay. In that networks, right? Basically, it has got its own networks, right? So 3 networks, they need to create 3 subnets. You see here, subnet 1, 2, 3. Okay, VNet 1,
Yes.
2, 3. Right. After that, you are creating the VNet peering. Peering you need to be there across the networks. Okay. Then, if you see my AWS demystified course, in that I have discussed these kind of things with multiple architecture diagrams. You have to see that course to understand in life how network peering can be done it, VPC peering. The same concept is there in every cloud with peering, network peering. The same concept is used here in commands. Okay, refer to that video in that course. So deploy SQL database is deploying the SQL server in one network. Okay, then network one in that network. Then later create the SQL database is creating there. Then in the network two is creating this one, WordPress container. Okay. Then is setting up the Azure container. Okay. Then later Terraform ML script is writing it. So here also you have the same concepts. Each code snippet is mapped to those manual steps only. A virtual network one is there, VNet 1, VNet 2, VNet 3. Then later is subnets is creating. Then after that is pairing for each network. Pairing commands are there in shell, right? The same thing. Then is setting up the SQL server with this one. Okay, for this one. Okay. Now what I need to do? It stopped because of scrolling. Continue till browsing the WP site. I need that step, right? IP. Continuing from where we left. So where we left it up to database server, MySQL server. Now WordPress container service is building. After that, it's going to use PHP admin container service. Okay, that is going to be saved in this one. Okay, then is creating the IP addresses. Okay, output is mapping to the IP addresses. Okay, then he is saving the file. Now he has given all these things with these things. with the IP addresses, all this by setting up, initialize and apply Terraform configuration. So browsing the WordPress site, how it is through this one. Okay. Now what I need to see here is there are Terraform scripts it is given. How many Terraform scripts are given? Let us not compare with shell commands. Terraform YAML script is there to create the setup. Here it is calling all these things, groups. Okay,
Resource group.
VNets.
Yes, resource
Yes,
groups.
VNets, subnets. Within the VNet, subnets are there. Then pairing need to happen across the networks. Okay, you have to understand that architecture's discussion with Perumal. Okay, if you understand those things, you will understand the script. Before using this particular script, go there, study that VPC in AWS videos, then come back to this to understand in Azure. Okay, the same concepts. Then MySQL server is configured. Later is creating the WordPress container. Okay. Right. Page to admin service is there. Here itself is creating into different server. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you go to web and see, you can write one more thing. Can you see websites where they have published solution, the same solution,
Yes, sir.
architecture diagram. WP 3 tag. Okay, you need to get that information. You will get it websites.
So please paste here also.
Yeah, I'll test it. First, let me test it. This one. Is it correctly doing or something? There are a lot of things it pulls. Okay. So that way you will understand the architecture diagrams also. Okay. Oh, let me pull one of these sites here. Read the blog post. Okay. I'm opening it. Okay. 1 minute. It is giving Amazon this one, but instead of that, I need. I'll rewrite it. You are able to see my this one, right? Screen. Pilot is removed.
Yes.
Pull the websites where they have published on the same
Same solution.
Azure solution. It should be Azure solution. It is pulling the AWS sites.
Okay.
Okay. By default, it will take AWS sites. You use the latest account.
Yes.
See here, you are able to see my Copilot screen. Now, if it is giving from the WordPress site only, WordPress tutorial only, first one. Then there should be architecture diagram, right? So if you see here, architecture diagram is given in that. Then open that particular this one and use this particular diagram for your this one. Create error.
Okay, sir.
Okay, see here, let me share this one. Are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this way you can download the diagram also. You can show this is the one, how it is.
Okay.
Now you got the complete solution from containers to Azure, how to build 3-tier architecture, 2-tier architectures. So multiple architectures, you got the solutions.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So let us stop the recording and you have to drive that further steps.